Let's now go across to Hormaz, who's tracking some of the interesting movers and shakers from Friday's trading action, looking at the delivery stats. Morning, Hormaz. What did you pick up?
Morning, Surbi. And it was the day that belonged to railway stocks last Friday. They continued to chug along for the fifth straight day and for the week as well. If you take a look at their weekly returns, you pick up any railway stock, it had double-digit returns. Jupiter Wagons, IRFC, RVNL, all of them up anywhere between 15 to 30% last week. So it was a week after a while that railway stocks were in the reckoning. And if you take a look at the volumes as well on Friday, for RVNL, over 10 crore shares traded, for IRFC over 16.5 crore shares traded, for IRCON 5 crore shares traded, and all of them significantly above their 20-day averages as well, which ranged from anywhere between 50 lakh to 1 crore shares. So anywhere between 10 to 15x of their 20-day average. But the delivery volumes though, now for RVNL, out of the 10 crore shares traded, only 1.5 crore were marked for delivery. For IRFC, 3.5 crore shares were marked for delivery, while for IRCON, only 65 lakh shares were marked for delivery. So the delivery volumes left a little more to be desired for the railway companies, but they continued to move higher. They remain in the reckoning today as well. Now, Karur Vysya Bank was one such name that made a move on the upside on Friday. It snapped a two-day losing streak, ended at a 52-week high. The volumes on Friday were the highest since June of this year. Over 1.5 crore shares were traded, the 20-day average of around 14 lakh shares. And out of those 1.5 crore shares that were traded, 34 lakh shares were marked for delivery, the 20-day average being around 7.5 lakh shares. So the stock has done well, is up 40% so far this year, turning out to be the fourth straight year of positive returns for Karur Vysya Bank. And lastly, MMTC, the stock was up for the sixth straight day on Friday. It was the biggest single day gain since May, as well as the volumes as well. Now, 7 crore shares were traded on Friday for MMTC, the 20-day average of around 27 lakh shares. And out of those 7 crore shares though, only 50 lakh shares were marked for delivery. Yeah, the 20-day average here is just around 5.5 lakh shares. Mind you, MMTC is a low free float stock because the government has close to 90% stake in the company. The stock down around 26% from its 52-week high, which is close to around 90 rupees a share.
Got that. Thank you very much for that.